Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
So, Tom, I was out at a house the other day. My client put in an offer.
Are we on?
We're on Kimberly's Revolution, but I want to talk about Taylor Heating and Plumbing because I was out at a house. My person put in an offer on a home, and do you know who had installed the water heater and the furnace and the whole shebang?
Taylor.
No. Taylor. They did. I'm like, oh my God, there's our client right there.
We drove by Taylor today.
Doing great work, our company, Taylor Heating and Plumbing.
Yeah,
so
we saw their headquarters.
It is. Where's the headquarters for Taylor?
Buffalo Road.
Buffalo Road, yeah, Gates.
Very good. Yeah. With Taylor, it's time to get your home safe and ready for the freezing temperatures. And it's been cold and it's been snowy. So you need Taylor, especially if you don't have a good furnace. It's not really running well. Now's the time to call. Call Taylor now for their Plumbing Safety Essentials Plus plan. Save $100 on a Bradford White water heater. Get free diagnostic fees and no overtime charges on emergency repairs with an additional 15% discount. Since 1947, Taylor Heating and Plumbing and Bradford White have been the most reliable source for all your plumbing and heating needs. With same-day service and upfront pricing, you can be assured that help is on the way. Call Taylor. 500 help.
Meow.
Looking very sunny today, Kimberlina.
You know what? The sun was out, baby.
Yeah.
Sun, gonna get me some. I think it's a rap song.
I'm wearing pink to be closer to my feminine side.
You're very pink. You're very pretty in pink.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I need a tan, though.
I have my COVID goggles on today.
Is Kimberly going to spit at you?
Hey, I know that the latest that they released right before we came on air to our podcast, which, by the way, Kimberly's Revolution, brought to you by Fantuzo Acupuncture, brought to you by Revere Realty, which you guys are the owners of the brokerage firm, and also brought to you by Taylor Heating and Plumbing. And you can check us out on YouTube, subscribe for free, and you can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts if you're in your car, if you're out for a walk, if you're on the treadmill, which I have been on for, the last couple of weeks.
Hold on, I just got to jump in real quick.
I don't want to fall, so.
I got to jump in and correct you on something, Kimberly.
What did I do?
See, I wore my cheaters today for the first time, right? I got my new glasses.
They're nice.
And they've already come in handy here because I'm looking at the Taylor logo up on our screen.
Yes.
And the name is Taylor Heating and Air Conditioning.
Well, I mean, it all falls under the same umbrella.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's
what they sent me.
I just wanted to call you out.
Where are you, Sonny?
I just wanted to use my new glasses.
How
Sonny boy?
You're kind of blurry from 6 feet away, though.
Why don't you do the bifocals like I do? I got these, honestly. I wear them now, the contact bifocals, so I can see
the progressive lenses.
The progressive contact lenses, so I can see close up instead of having to wear glasses all the time.
I just went blind recently, so I'm still learning how to.
Are you?
How to handle this disability here.
Welcome to over 40.
Yeah, over 40.
Right.
I wish that's all
Enjoy
it
was. Enjoy it. Revel in the over 40. Hey, Michelle. Hey, girl.
Hi, Michelle.
What beach is she on?
I couldn't say that on my last show that I did. We had to stop doing, hey, girl, hey.
Why, was that racist?
I sure on it. No, Michelle knows why we had to stop doing it. She knows what it pertains to. So do the rest of the people that listen to Kimberly's Revolution.
Inside jokes.
Joy,
I see how this works.
Let the party begin.
Cameron.
First, I want to say that thanks to everyone.
You're welcome.
Who reached out to me about my brother. We did bury him last Friday in Beaufort, South Carolina, at the National Cemetery, which was absolutely gorgeous. It had all the giant trees with the moss hanging from it. And
Ooh, nice.
it was such a peaceful, beautiful cemetery.
Whereabouts in South Carolina?
Beaufort, which is all the way down.
Yeah, I don't know where Beaufort is.
It's all the way down south. It's
By
like
Georgia.
It's an hour and 30 minutes from Charleston going south on 17. So if you're familiar with South Carolina, you're familiar with
17.
17 runs
North,
all
south,
the way up and
up the coast.
That does.
Is that down the road from Mayberry?
It's way down the road because Mayberry, the actual town, is called Mount Airy, and that is in North Carolina.
Mount Airy.
Very good.
I know everything there is to know.
Shocker.
Wow.
Well, we already knew you knew everything.
That's it. I'm leaving.
Of course.
You
See,
guys don't need me anymore.
Look at the sunshine
Yeah,
coming
the sun's
in.
coming right
Yeah.
through the window.
I am
Jealous.
I am loving it. So yeah, I did wear yellow today because I wanted to be like the giant sun.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I've never known a woman to say the word giant to express themselves, but we'll go with it.
Well, I am peaceful with my body size,
Okay.
especially when I'm killing myself on the treadmill every
So my
morning.
shirt's blue, but when I look in this computer screen over here,
It's
looks
blue.
It looks pink in this one, and in this one, it looks its normal color.
Don't look at the monitor.
Don't.
don't
Don't look at the monitor.
don't look
It
at the
adds-
monitor.
It adds 10 pounds anyway.
And since we are in real estate, and I think it's
We are?
Are we?
before we get started, I just
For how much longer?
so well
Are we canceled yet?
that is
They're working on it.
they are working on it. People are working really hard, but
They
you know
are.
what? We're not going away quietly.
No, we're not.
We will not go away quietly
Hi.
into the night. We will not.
Right.
Hi.
Like the reference.
We will not.
Hi.
In-
We're going to stay here.
He turned off the monitor, so I can't see my pink shirt anymore.
Well, I already have a
Don't look
picture.
at the monitor. So the Silence of the Lambs House. Remember the movie with Clarice? With some fava beans and a nice Chianti,
I like
right?
the Chianti.
The Silence of the Lambs home was up for sale in Pittsburgh, and it sold for $290,000.
That's cheap for Pittsburgh.
That basement well torture thing was not included.
No?
No.
That was the set.
No, but you know what? It's a 4-bedroom, 1-bathroom house outside of Pittsburgh and has many of the original features that were in the 1991 movie Silence of the Lambs, which I think would be kind of cool. And by the way, a house in Pittsburgh that looks like that,
Yeah.
that's
Looks like it's got some land, too.
that's a steal for what, $290,000, I
Yep.
think.
Yeah, Revere should have had that listing.
It does. It has almost 2 acres.
Yeah.
I
there
mean,
you go.
almost 2 acres in Pittsburgh. But you know, it had the opening shot of the Buffalo Bills scene, and Clarice is standing there, and the guy's got the door half open, and
Looks like it needs a $20,000 driveway, though.
and what did you say, Fitzy? That what he had a good comment earlier about the Silence of the Lambs house.
What is it? Oh, it puts the money into the account and it gets the title.
Yes, it puts the money into the account to get the title because it rubs the lotion on the skin. Okay, do you guys know the movie, or am I?
I've
just
seen
talking
it.
to
I've seen it
myself?
a
Am I
long
talking
time
to
ago.
my-
And Fitzy,
Am I just
Fitzy,
talking to
it's
myself?
my job to be the comedy genius.
I'm
on the
talking
show.
to me.
I watched Porky's
I
the other
defer
night.
to you, Tom.
You know, you're a Porky's kind of guy. Let's just say that. So I've been up for a while, too. I'm a little punchy, which, as you know, if our listeners to Kimberly's Revolution know, if you've listened
You're punch drunk?
to the radio show for years. Laura, hi, you guys. Good to see you. Hi, Laura. When I'm a little punchy, it tends to be for an interesting show.
Okay.
I took my second brother, Mike, my middle brother. He is still older than me. Took him to the airport at like 4:45 this morning, and I've been up ever since.
Hey, Shannon, what's going on?
Shannon, hey. So, what are they saying? We have reached 1,000 people that have passed away from COVID, and I don't know what the situation is because we're masking up, we're shuttering businesses, we're quarantining. I can't figure out why so many people are still dying, but for a year we have had no lives. This is my shock face.
I'm glad you brought that up.
And now the news.
I'm glad you brought that up.
So
because,
wasn't that the news today?
Yeah,
that,
on the way here, I'm coming down 490.
yeah.
And I hear the report on the radio station, and they say after, I think the last 2 or 3 days, they've reported no new deaths, right? And then all of a sudden today,
63.
they report 63 new deaths,
Yeah.
which, by some coincidental miracle, that got us to exactly 1,000. Because we were sitting on 37?
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah, it is.
Well, no, honest
Yeah.
to God, you're telling me You're telling me
That
that
all
we
of
had
a
no
sudden-
deaths for the last 3 days,
But
and
today,
then all of a sudden
63 people died.
they pulled 63. They were waiting to compile the numbers so that it hit exactly 1,000.
Maybe
Right.
they had a
I mean,
power
what a-
failure.
what a
with the-
joke.
So the health department,
What a joke.
headed by
Headed by a guy who got sued today, Dr. Mendoza,
Uh-oh.
got served papers today.
209 new cases, 63 additional deaths, bringing the death total in Monroe County to 1,000. Even
Yeah.
though we have shut down and basically wiped out business.
Yeah, we sure
in Monroe
have.
County.
Can't find a place to eat lunch anymore.
Even though high school sports have been wiped out, and by the way, all the championship sports, athletic,
Announced today that those are canceled.
canceled.
New York State Public High School Athletic Association.
That we have masked up.
Double masks.
Double mask now.
Some of us had 6 or 7 on last week.
But yet we're still having these multitude of cases. So are you telling me that none of these things are working? I'm shocked.
Shocker.
Yeah.
So the name of the show today is Sue Everyone on Kimberly's No, don't
Why
sue
not?
Kimberly's Revolution.
Well, you might as well.
But the name of
Including us.
the name of the
Get in
show
line.
is Sue Everyone. And the reason that we bring that up is because
So does this mean Sue does everyone? I don't understand.
no,
What does that mean?
Debbie does Dallas.
Sue Everyone,
Oh,
as
Sue
in
everyone. I thought you said Sue does everyone.
litigious. We're litigious.
Tom's a dirty old man.
I
isn't
am.
he?
So,
I am. I'm wearing
He's a
pink.
dirty old man in a
I-
pink shirt.
I
you know,
am.
I'm one of these people where
I ought to beat him with my PR-24.
I don't get offended by people. I don't get offended by people saying things to me. I take it with a grain of salt. If I don't like what they have to say, I don't listen to it. I block them. They're
Should
not my
spray
friends.
him with some Capstun.
I'm not seeking them out to have drinks with them. If I don't like someone and I'm offended by whatever their thought
Straight
process
up.
is, straight up, I'm not hanging out with you. I'm not.
Right.
Do you like me?
I do like you.
Do you have a
oddly enough.
note?
Even with my new... Oddly enough. Did you hear that, Fitzy?
Chad, do you have a note to pass her? Do you
But
like me?
She couldn't even give me an unqualified compliment.
I like the both of you. Of
Oddly
course.
enough.
I don't hang out with people I don't like. I don't have time for that. Life is short. Well, hello, Steve. Thank you very much. I am
Well,
back
hello.
from Charleston. I don't hang out. I don't have time in my life, and this life that
the
we
new
have
math.
is very
Common
short.
core total, 1,000.
It's very short. So yeah, the new math. I've never been litigious. I've never filed a lawsuit against anyone in my life. I can say that unequivocally. I've never filed a lawsuit against anyone in my life. Now you're an attorney. It's your job. Tom, I don't know about you. Have you ever filed a lawsuit in your life? It's
No.
such a freaking waste of time,
Have
you
I?
guys.
I don't
mean,
know.
He's my attorney, so
Yeah,
if
better-
anybody would file it, it's him.
That's the first thing people do is lawyer up. So
Have I
tell
ever
us,
signed anything I didn't know, Chad?
but,
Oh, yeah, you sign a lot of things. You
I'm
don't know.
probably sure I've sued somebody.
but there are some good reasons. Like my friend Don at Veneto's, he and his
Yep.
wife, they had their liquor license taken away, as we told you last week. As
Yep.
actually we told you a couple of weeks ago, and we just found out today that
Can we go drinking?
yes.
Yeah, hell
We
yeah.
Yes.
drove by him today,
We
too.
were going to
Did
go to
you?
lunch there.
We
But-
drove by his place, too.
So,
Damn it.
Don and Julie Schwartz, my good friends at Veneto's, they've been my good friends for a number of years. They're just not like my new good friends. Like some people, all
Like
of a
us,
sudden,
oddly
Don
enough.
is in the news, and now they're the new best friend of Don and Julie. No, Don and Julie have been my good friends for a long time. I can say that I knew them before the hardship of COVID, right? And he sent me a message today. He said, hey, if you can mention, please say thank you from Veneto's to the Honorable Anne Marie Taddeo for granting Veneto's West Side
Thanks, Judge.
a temporary order to allow them to sell alcoholic beverages. A big F-U to Cuomo
Wow.
and his little Nazi assault gang called the Liquor Authority.
All right,
that was
we're
Judge
going.
Taddeo that did that. That's good news.
Yeah, Anne Marie Taddeo granted Veneto's West Side a temporary order. So, you know,
That's
all
great
these-
news because Taddeo is the judge that's assigned to the lawsuit that we filed several months ago that involves Andrew Cuomo and Howard Zucker. That lawsuit's pending. It's going to be coming up in front of Taddeo in a couple days. So
Well,
that's a good precursor, a good sign there that she's looking to rule on the side of the reopening.
of the people, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Of
God
the
forbid.
public that's suffering,
We the people.
right?
The people that are pissed off.
So tell us about Mendoza and Bello, and we'll start there, and then we'll migrate
Yeah.
into the city nonsense.
So I took my partner here, Mr. Tom
I did
Morgan.
not go.
I took
There's,
Tom.
there's no evidence that says I was anywhere.
It's on the record now.
Why are you scared? Don't be scared.
I took him on a little field trip today.
Where'd you go?
Yes, I took my little 5th grader
Yeah.
on a field trip today.
With my gas.
With his gas.
Yeah, where'd you go?
Yeah, we took him on a field trip. We started off out at Honey Eye Falls, Lima.
Oh.
And we met up with
What a great little town.
Yeah, we met up with the fine counselor attorney Carl Schwartz, who is the lead attorney on all these lawsuits basically that I've been working on for the past several months. And the lawsuit that we have currently going is strictly against 16 school districts here in Monroe County, and Adam Bello and Mike Mendoza.
Oh.
I'd call him Dr. Mike Mendoza, but I don't know that he deserves that title at this point. So Mike Mendoza, Adam Bello, and 16 school districts were getting served today, and they're going to be directed to appear in court. I believe the court date is March 8th, and they have to come into court with their lawyers and basically show cause to the court as to why an order should not be immediately entered that fully reopens schools.
Right.
Now, I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. There's a lot of legal mumbo jumbo to jump through here, and a lot of loopholes that we got to and hoops to jump through. But it started. School districts were getting served today. Like I said, Tom went on a little field trip.
I was not there.
We served. Me and Tom served.
Don't be scared.
What, 5 school districts?
I'm
today?
very scared. I'm wearing pink.
Who did
today.
we serve today, Tom? Come on, tell us what districts we served.
I think we served somebody at Shaler's, and
I love Shaler's.
and then we went down to Seabreeze.
Oh, he's so scared.
I like Seabreeze.
Jesus. I'm asking you because I don't remember already. I've already no. We served Gates Chili today. We served Churchville Chili.
Wow.
Or what? No, Wheatland Chili, right?
Wheatland Chili.
We served Support.
Churchville.
We served Honey Eye Falls, Lima.
So what do you think's gonna? I mean, what is the end game here? What is?
Well, the end game is literally
to have them
the end game
normally.
is literally it's for a court to sign an order. Judge William Taylor is who signed what's called an order to show cause, directing these parties once they're served to appear in court. And the end game is that he would, best case scenario from the litigant standpoint, is he would direct the schools to reopen fully, and actually
like immediate. I mean, and what's the time frame we're looking at? Or is it something they can drag out to the end of the school year?
Yeah, they can, and they'll certainly try. What he could do though is on the return date in March, he could enter some temporary relief. He could make certain interim directives to the school districts. He can tell them that they have to open up fully under certain guidelines, under certain regulations. It's something he can craft.
Can he mandate that they actually let high school sports go on at? Can you imagine if you're a high school,
if you're a senior,
or even if you're
my son.
I mean, honestly,
yeah, my son missed out on his junior year of baseball at Eastridge, which would have been a sectional run. They had lost in the sectional finals the year before, and they had returned most of their team. So he lost out on a sectional possible title last year, and this year what's going to be his senior season. They just started winter workouts 2 weekends ago. They were just informed that there's going to be no sectionals, there's going to be no championships. And the reason that they give is such bullshit. It really is. They say that it's to provide the districts with more flexibility in scheduling their season. So you mean to tell me that by eliminating a championship season, that gives them more flexibility to have a regular season? Yeah, that's true, except they all want to have a championship season too. They'll sacrifice 3 or 4 games on the back end of an already shortened regular season to have a championship season. The NBA did it. The NHL did it. The NFL had an entire season. It can be done. Yeah. It's just more punishment is what it is. It's Governor Cuomo. Governor Cuomo has literally gotten slapped around the past few weeks in these court rulings, like the one you just talked about with Veneto's. That's another ruling that's a smack in the face to all of Cuomo's regulations.
I think there is going to be something coming down. I mean, he is going to be held liable for all the nursing home deaths.
Oh, no doubt about that.
That is something I don't think is going to go away. But
that's my point. He's punishing us.
We've already proven that schools are not a COVID breeding ground. I mean, how many more times do the experts need to say, and they found it to be true, that schools are not
they're safer
super
in school
spreaders.
than home.
Yeah. They are safer.
Cuomo said it himself in his December 11th press conference.
Open shiatsu up, and that includes the schools, and let the kids have their athletics. We're crying out loud.
Hear this statistic. This is a statistic that's actually cited in a medical affidavit. There's a local doctor who signed a medical affidavit as part of these lawsuits that we served today. And one of the statistics that he cited in his medical affidavit was the case fatality rate. All right, so we got to unpack that a little bit. Meaning, once it's determined that a child between the age of birth and 18 years old, once it's determined that child has COVID and they're a case, the case fatality rate, if they even get it in the first place, is 1 out of 33,000.
Wow.
1 out of 33,000. You have a better chance, if you want to look at it as a better chance, you have a better chance of getting struck by lightning. Literally, statistically speaking, it's cited in the lawsuit.
It's so ridiculous.
1 out of 33,000.
And I thought today,
if you even get it.
Are you telling me 63 people died today? I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Well, they didn't.
Jennifer wants to know, is Brockport one of the schools that you served today?
They didn't get served today. They're in my box to be served. I'm going to get them either Friday or Monday in case you're listening, Brockport.
You're coming for them.
Let me just add one more thing on the service today.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah. So this is what's interesting to me. I've been doing this for 17 years, and I have process servers. I have professional process servers that I've hired over the years. But in a pinch, I've gone out and served papers myself.
Sure.
Right? I'm running out of time. I'm up against a statute of limitations.
You got to get it done.
Yeah, and I just don't have time to get the process server involved or to rely upon the process server. So I've gone out and served papers. I've done it many times over the years. And
including today.
And at best, Tom was there. At best, when you're serving papers on somebody, it's standoffish at best.
Yeah.
And hostile at worst.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
People try to evade service. People throw the papers at you.
My
They yell at
ex-husband
you.
tried to run over the process server with a tractor.
See?
True story.
Yeah. And I've served
my ex-husband.
Redneck.
You don't even want to know.
And I've served municipalities. I've served school districts. I've served county executives. I've served the Monroe County Treasurer. I've served the Yates County Treasurer. I've served municipalities. And even they are standoffish at best.
Yeah.
Right? Today, I saw a dynamic that it could not have been a coincidence, right? Because all 5 or 6 school districts that me and Tom went to today. And
They want the kids in school.
And Tom was there. These school districts.
Did they say, thank God you're
coming? They were
coming?
happy that I was there. They didn't say that to me. They didn't tell that to me. But having done this over the years, I sensed they were. In other words, I'm going to the door, right? You've all gone to your kid's school, and you got to buzz yourself in. And so I'm expecting all the runaround that you could possibly get at any one of these districts.
Right.
I got zero runaround. I went in. There was a smiling, greeting face. Oh, how you doing? Do you know where you're going? No, I don't. Okay, you got to go up to the second floor. Okay, so I get to the second floor. I walk into the superintendent's office. Somebody comes out. Oh, what can I help you with?
Yeah.
They knew it was coming. An email had gone out to them yesterday, all the districts letting them know we were on the way. And they were all pleasant. And they engaged me in discussion. They wanted to know.
They want the kids in
You
school.
get it. You
they
get
want
in
this
that.
to be done.
They
you
were
get in
happy
that job.
I
You get
get
in
it.
that job as a compassionate person.
Right.
You love kids. You want to be in that situation.
Carl Schwartz, our attorney, he's calling me now. Should I put him on air?
Let me just say, you have to tell the people that they're going to be on with us, and then
we have our lawyer.
We have to get the permission. Well, this is a girl who knows how it works. You have to get the permission, and
Shocker.
then we can throw them on the air.
That's
how it works.
We'll leave it alone for now.
All right. So what we can say is, hopefully there'll be some changes coming to some of the local schools via this lawsuit against, that was served on the Mendoza and Bello for the county schools.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't get the pleasure of serving Bello and Mendoza. That was on Carl, the attorney. That was on his.
How did that go?
Tom drew up the loop.
To be a fly in that
I didn't
room.
want to pay for parking.
What?
Yeah, Tom drew up the driving loop, and I ended up with the West Side school.
Yeah.
And the South and the West Side, and Carl ended up with the North and the East Side.
Yeah.
So he picked up the Rochester City School District and the downtown, which included Bello and Mendoza.
They probably thought, what were these two good-looking guys coming in for?
Right. That's exactly what they were doing.
And they thought maybe you were coming in to get a marriage certificate or something. I don't know.
That's exactly it.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Can I tell? I mean, my flight into Rochester was canceled, and I had to fly in through Buffalo. So
You had to walk home?
Charleston, I did. My husband
took
says,
an
I'm not
Uber
coming. Not
for
coming.
$182.
In Buffalo, just like they do in Rochester, they have the National Guard there, and they're waiting to talk to people. And again, just like I did in Rochester, I very nicely declined, very respectfully declined to talk to the National Guard about where I'd been and who I'd been in contact with. It's none of their business.
Was your picture on that scrolling list of most wanted from the FBI?
Yeah, they had my face on the big screen. Watch out for this woman. But can I ask you guys something?
No.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever, seen
I
on
hate
an
when
airplane?
she does this.
Uh-oh.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever watched on an airplane?
The Mile High Club.
No, liar. The planes are so tiny now. You can.
I sat next to a farter last year. That was rough.
That's the worst.
And then finally I yelled
I
out.
believe you would talk about Lori like that.
And then finally, after like the 5th time, I finally yelled out, "Who's ever effing farting?
You
Can
did
please
not.
stop?"
Did you?
He's
Oh, it
full
was
of
bad.
shit.
It was bad. You can ask Lori.
So I saw this.
She'll probably text it in, Lori, in the thing. Tell her it's true.
Tell the story Shannon says about the lead litigant.
Kimberly doesn't let me get into the weeds, Shannon.
Okay,
We
get into
lose
the weeds.
listeners. We
Yeah,
lose
do.
listeners.
Oh, yes.
It's
Good point.
It's compelling in light of the pepper spray story. Well, listen. Okay, here's the thing. We are going to get to the pepper spray story. We are going to talk about.
It's
and
called
I know
Capstun.
we know you wanted to talk about some things that were relevant to the story in general, so we'll get to that. But I want to tell you what this guy was doing on my flight from Charleston into Baltimore.
He had his shoes off.
He was trimming his nose hairs.
Oh,
I
nice.
love it.
I swear to God, I wanted to puke.
With scissors and everything.
He had those little.
If I pull out a nose hair, it makes me sneeze.
What are those? Don't you guys have nose? My husband has like nose hair trimmers.
Real men just pull their nose
Like
hairs
I
out.
do. I just pull them out.
With tweezers?
No,
with
my
your
fingers. You just yank it right out.
How long does it have to be that
Makes
you
you
can get it
sneeze.
with your finger? I mean, I couldn't pull it.
I got fat fingers, but I got wide nostrils.
But
Really?
I wanted to vomit. Sometimes
Yeah, that's
early in the morning, I'm
disgusting.
like,
Shannon wanted us to talk about litigants and lawsuits, and I'm talking about pulling nose hairs out of my nose.
well, that's the difference in Shannon and I love her for that. I know, Linda.
Chad,
it was
Chad,
so.
our
Sorry, Linda.
listeners
How
like
many did
this.
we just lose?
And here's me. I wanted to get video of it, and they'll call my brother. They'll call you a Karen. Don't do it. And I'm like, this guy is trimming his nose hairs on the plane in the seat. It's a full flight. He had people sitting.
Was there like a pile of hair on the floor when he was done? What's the Dumb and Dumber, right? Where they
could
go
braid
get
it.
the pedicure and their hairs gathering on the floor and their nails are piling up.
Right.
But I'm like, oh my God, just
It's a
sickening.
great
All right.
freaking movie.
So that's my plane story.
Nose
and
hairs?
again, talking
Nose hairs in the National Guard. I love it.
The nose hair in the National Guard. Yes. So I
That should have been the title of the show.
nose hair in the National Guard. Just
Yeah.
a little bitty story though.
Sue everyone.
But the guys at the National Guard, very polite. They don't make you stop. And by the way, you do not have to stop. It is not, something that they can make you do. It is a violation of your constitutional rights to have them make you stop at the airport. So nonetheless, Sue Everyone is the name of Kimberly's Revolution today, the episode. I don't even know how many episodes we're on now.
This is 18.
18?
18?
Wow, we're legal today.
Wow, we are. And we want to thank you to our
Only two more to go before we get kicked off.
We can
Our
start drinking in
sponsors.
3 episodes when we get to 21.
Taylor
Oh, wait,
Heating.
we've already done that.
Taylor Heating and Plumbing, where 500
100
help.
help.
Call Taylor. 500 help.
500 help.
Also, we want to thank Fantuzo Acupuncture, where you can go to, you can get acupuncture, you can get acupressure. They have CBD oils. They do everything that makes you feel good there. And
Cupping.
Taylor Heating and Plumbing, they do everything to make you feel good there in the terms of making sure your water is, running right, making sure your heating and air conditioning is running right. So we thank our sponsors.
I think Fantuzo makes sure that your water's running right as well.
well, they do a little bit in a certain weird way.
Thanks, Chad.
and we're getting ready to add a new sponsor
Ooh.
next week.
Do we tease them or no?
I
How does
will,
that work? I don't know how this stuff works.
I will say it's lawn care,
Ooh.
and I know them.
It's not nose care.
It's not. It is not. So
It's
very
lawn
excited.
trimming.
Hopefully, our third sponsor will go into effect next week, and I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited for
As
all
long
of
as the check clears,
all
goes
the
into
things that
effect.
are coming up in real estate. I mean, I'm super busy already.
The spring
Your aunt
market.
is coming into town.
Oh,
We've
all right.
already focused on a couple of houses.
Aunt Mel.
Aunt Mel, and I'm getting ready to list a house in Irondequoit in the West Irondequoit School District
A Rhonda Hood.
that you're going to love. A friend of mine is listing her house. I'm super excited about that. And then, of course, I have this house that we made an offer on yesterday. So everything is coming around. If you're looking,
Tom, do you list any houses?
I don't really do anything, Chad.
if you're looking to buy or sell your house, Revere Realty, give us a call. And you can reach out to me at kgoodman@revererealty.com. All right. So I consider myself a pretty good mom. I'm a good mom. There are a lot of bad moms out there. There are a lot of bad dads out there.
I'm a bad dad.
Are you a bad dad?
Yeah.
You are one of the best dads.
I'm a bad daddy.
You are responsible for your children. You probably don't swear and use F words and tell your
Let's not
kids
get crazy.
to get their bitch ass into the house. You don't do any of that. This 9-year-old that was handcuffed and pepper sprayed.
Ooh, baby.
And the lawsuit that has since followed.
Right.
Of course, the mother and, I don't know, baby daddy or stepdad or whatever the situation is, they have lawyered up. What do you call that kind of lawyer? How did that lawyer get that gig so quick?
That's a good question. I was thinking about that on the way out here.
You can't tell me.
Driving down 490.
I wasn't thinking about anything.
You can't tell me they knew who to call.
Well, look, here's the thing.
500 help.
No, that's not
No,
that number.
not that number.
Yes, Nadine says, you a good daddy.
Yeah, right. So, number one, we as attorneys cannot solicit, right? We can't just blindly solicit. It's the old ambulance chasing example.
Right.
If you see somebody get injured in an accident, you can't show up at the hospital
888, call the 8.
and start passing out your business card. You just can't do it. So your point is well taken. How is it that in a matter of this story going public in 48 hours,
right? The video being released.
Did a lawyer get engaged? Because that doesn't happen in 5 seconds.
No,
a lawyer
of course
gets
not.
engaged. A lawyer has to meet with his clients.
Right.
A lawyer has to do an interview, take down all the facts, do his or her own investigation, and then file a notice of claim. That doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
So how did this lawyer, get involved so quickly? And now it can happen, right? They could have had a family lawyer.
Sure.
But you know how it went down.
Well, I'm sure they did have a family lawyer because the family is no stranger to
the law.
To the law.
Maybe they use LegalZoom, Chad.
And here's my question to you guys.
Is anyone in the family a realtor? Before
We don't know
further?
that.
You don't want me to answer that because I answered
right.
it earlier today, and you said do not answer that question, so I won't answer the question.
Nobody thinks pepper spraying a 9-year-old is good, right?
Nobody thinks pepper
Okay.
spraying a 9-year-old is
Just to
good.
be clear.
Look,
Nobody-
he's gonna. If you would have said yes, he would have ran out of the room crying.
I would have. I would have got up and left.
You wouldn't have engaged me?
No.
I'm going to engage him.
Really?
Nobody thinks that pepper spraying or handcuffing
How many
a
hours do we have,
9-year-old
Fitzy?
is
Except maybe Chad.
is a good thing. Nobody thinks that. Could it have been done differently? There's not a crisis management team anywhere that would have been able to handle this situation any differently, and I'm going to tell you why. The police are no stranger to this house. Nobody is talking about the fact that RPD had just been over there in November for another situation very similar to this that did not end like this. No one is talking about the fact that the mother went to prison in 2012 for a 2009 arson and burglary in the second charge. No one is talking about that. This mother,
You are.
Elba Pope, basically spent the first 4.5 years of her baby's life, the 9-year-old that was pepper sprayed, in the Bedford Correctional Facility downstate. Bedford Correctional Facility, if you don't know, is a max jail for bad women. Bad girls go there. The baddest of the bad girls go there. I mean, I would be
What you
honestly.
gonna
This is
do?
where you're going to be going.
What you going to do when they come for you?
I would be wetting myself if someone said, yeah, you're sentenced to Bedford Correctional Facility for the next 5 years of your life. But that's where she went. Elba Pope has been in trouble since her early teen years. This is nothing new to her. This is nothing new to the family. The fact of the matter is, this child, and who knew? I don't know, and I haven't heard, who was raising this child for the 4.5 years that the mother was at the Bedford Correctional Facility. Miss Elba Pope, who said she was outraged and so saddened by the fact that her daughter was handled so improperly. Elba Pope is so
She's
angered.
been handling her daughter like that since she was born. Probably.
Well, let me tell you this.
Allegedly. Likely.
Elba Pope is no stranger to violence or manhandling. After she went to jail and was transferred to Bedford Correctional Facility, she then thought it might be a good idea to manhandle a corrections officer. She assaulted a corrections officer, which meant that she had to do her max time, which was 4.5 years. She probably would have been out when the baby was 2, but Elba Pope has no control over her emotions. She's got the emotional IQ.
Where does she get all this information?
I don't know.
5-year-old.
I hope the woman gets paid. What the hell?
Ginger, yes, she has a brain issue. It's a very big brain issue. But the fact of the matter is, you won't hear this truth on any media outlet. You won't hear the fact that the police had been there before.
No, it's not sexy enough.
You don't hear
It's only sexy to go after the police officers.
You don't hear the story about how she committed arson and burglary right after her baby was born. You don't hear anything about the trauma this kid has likely endured for 9 years of her life.
Yeah, the pepper spray might have been one of the best things that that happened to her from that type of standpoint, from being abused, right?
Right.
On a scale of 1 to 10, if we were a fly on the wall for 9 years, 365 days times 9 years, right? If we were a fly on the wall for every one of those days, then what would we have seen, right? All we see is literally one 30-second snapshot of her interaction with the police officers.
Right.
And the police officers didn't call her, right? The police officers didn't wake up that morning and say, okay, we're going to go to this house and find this 9-year-old girl and get into an altercation with her to the point where we feel like our only option is to pepper spray her. They didn't wake up that morning and do that, right?
That is true. I don't think
her life brought her circumstances to that point.
It did.
And they called the police. They brought the police there to the circumstances.
The ex-husband, as my understanding, was there. There was a fight between Elba Pope and the ex-husband, which I can only assume probably goes on an everyday occasion, right? He's bloodied.
Allegedly.
She's I mean, I don't know. I don't know how he got all bloody, but that is my understanding of what happened when she walked in, the 9-year-old, and saw her mom and the stepdad, or if he's a baby daddy or the boyfriend. I mean, I don't even know what the relationship is. But she saw her mom and the man that her mom had been with fighting, and he was bloody. How did he get bloody? Have we heard that?
Anthony Hopkins did it.
Did she cut him? Did the mother, Elba Pope, cut him? I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, Elba Pope is a shitty mom. 100% categorically true statement. She's a shitty mom. You're not a shitty dad. You're not a shitty dad. I'm not a shitty mom. I'm a good mom. I want my kids to have a calm, as much as you can. I mean, not every home is perfect. I think we can say that. And by the way, shitty moms come in all sizes, shapes, colors. Yellow, black, whatever. Shitty moms come in all financial groups. You can't say this is systemic racism that happened to this family.
Weak and shallow. Intellectually dishonest.
It is generational violence. It is generational ignorance.
Yeah.
It is generational poverty. It is generational welfare. And I guarantee you, this 9-year-old, if she doesn't get out of this home environment of Elba Pope and whatever man is, trouncing through the house that afternoon, if the kid doesn't get out of the situation, the kid who laid down on the ground and immediately started saying, "Take your hands off me," which I thought was weird for a 9-year-old. I mean, my 9-year-old, that response wouldn't have happened, right? If police tried to, grab your son or daughter, their response isn't to lie down on the ground and say, "Don't touch me, don't handle me that way." What 9-year-old talks like that?
Yeah.
Right? But this is where we are with the media not telling you the whole story at all. Here's a little bit, and then, of course, after the video is released, what happens? Big protest on Monday night. I have video of that, but first I'm going to get to this video because Wham, 13 Wham
Were there any realtors at that protest?
I don't... I cannot confirm nor deny that.
I was just curious.
Tonight, for the first time, we hear from the mother of the 9-year-old girl pepper sprayed by Rochester police on Friday.
I'm very, very hurt. I can't stop replaying in my head my baby saying, "You're hurting me, you're hurting me."
That mother has now taken the first step towards suing the city of Rochester and police department. As Tyler Brown reports, the mom claims her daughter's constitutional rights were violated as a result of what she is calling a false arrest. Tyler?
Jenny, in a notice of claim today, Elba Pope and her attorney intend to sue the city for excessive force and negligence, just to name a couple. As for right now, Pope says she and her daughter are trying to find ways to cope after Friday's traumatic events.
Right.
Her daughter's walking eastbound. Mom saying she's making suicidal statements.
Elba Pope says an argument between her and her spouse Friday led her to call police. That argument upset her daughter, who then decided to run away.
I'm like, sir, can you please contact someone for mental health? I know the signs. I think my daughter is about to have a meltdown.
Right.
He disregarded what I said.
Right.
Didn't make a call. Didn't do anything, but just chased my daughter.
Right.
Pope says her daughter has been under mental hygiene arrest before, but says she never experienced anything like this.
Just clear at this point.
I can't stop her playing in my head, my baby saying, you're hurting me, you're hurting me. And I definitely can't get the fact that I see a grown man literally pull out his pepper spray and pepper spray my daughter more than once. She's a 9-year-old girl.
It's not just the officer's actions that have come under scrutiny. Pope can be seen and heard on camera, screaming obscenities at her daughter and cars driving by.
And you gonna take your ass in the house.
There have also been people who have criticized your behavior and said and what you said to your daughter during the incident. What responsibility do you believe you have in this, and do you believe you may have escalated the situation?
I don't believe I escalated the situation, because the situation was already escalated. She was already over the top. Do I feel like I came off a little aggressive? Absolutely, I have. There is no reason, there is no excuse. I don't care what happened. There's no reason you should have done my child like that.
So, I mean, I find that very interesting. So she said that, her daughter was already over the top. Why was her daughter over the top?
Exactly.
What was going on inside the house that caused her daughter to be... And again, I'm going to say, did the RPD, the first police officer, had the situation under control? Mark and Yvonne Helmer say, what about the mother? Every time you turn around, she tried to smack her in front of the cops. That is true. She was telling her daughter to get the F back to the house.
You can say that.
I mean, how do you say that to your 9-year-old? Have you ever told your children to get the fuck back to the house?
No.
And by the way, and get your bitch ass up off the ground. Are you kidding me? I mean, 13 covered it a little bit, which I have to say, they did a good.
That was a good story. Yeah.
This story went national. I had a friend call me in Colorado and say, "What is going on with your police force?" And I said,
it's the second time
no.
in 6 months.
You have no idea of the backstory of this woman, and no one's talking about it. Bonnie says, "Wow, the media actually shows more than one side."
Yeah, that was shocking.
But they're not telling you. They're not telling you of this Elba Pope's background. You're not hearing that she did 5 years at the correctional facility in Bedford. You're not hearing that she served 5 years for arson and burglary and assault. You're not hearing that she assaulted the corrections officer while at Bedford Correctional. You're not hearing that Elba Pope herself, the shitty mom, has been in trouble since her teenage years. You're not hearing about any of that.
You're not hearing that the 9-year-old might be suffering from being in social isolation because the Rochester Teachers Union won't allow these kids to go back to school.
Can you imagine being in that house every day?
At all. No school, no instruction, no outlet, no peer interaction,
nothing.
No teacher interaction,
Nothing.
no counselors, no opportunities for this girl maybe to glom onto a teacher that she trusts and say, "Hey, shit's bad at home. I need help." Right?
Right.
Or even if she doesn't say something, maybe an observant teacher may have noticed, you know what, there's something going on in that poor girl's life. Let's investigate. We're mandatory reporters. Let's take a look at what's going on, right? Adam Bello, you got served papers today. Where was your CPS, right?
Well, I'm going to tell you.
You run around with a multi-million-dollar budget at CPS, and, I have no love lost for that agency either, but, where are all these?
They close at 5, Chad.
They close it. Mary Ellen
So
Cook.
does Wendy's.
Poor child doesn't stand a chance.
No, she doesn't.
You bring up a good point, and I was going to bring it up too. Child Protective Services, right? Child Protective Services.
Right.
Where
Go
are they
figure.
protecting this girl who, by the
They're
way,
not.
had a major episode in
It's an
November?
oxymoron, like family court. There's not a family in that court.
Her mother has custody. Her mother is violent herself.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to assault a corrections officer and you know you're going to get more time because of it, what are you doing in your own house behind closed doors that no one can see?
She did it on camera.
You did it on. She swung at her daughter.
Yeah.
I've never hit my kid.
What?
My kid's 22, and by the way, for the reverends to stand up in front of the microphone.
I haven't heard them yet on this one.
Reverend Lewis Stewart said,
there he is.
You would not
The Reverend.
see this happening in the suburbs to a white 9-year-old.
No, of course
He
not.
said it only happens to kids in the city.
Right.
I got news for you. Kids all over the place get hit at some time or another.
Well, then you know what? You know where
there's
that
always-
reverend should go? That reverend should go to, is St. Joseph's Villa still around? Any group home, right?
but it's not called St. Josephville anymore. Yeah.
Go to any group home where these children reside
Mm-hmm.
after they're taken away from their angry bitch ass parents, right? That we just saw on camera, and watch what happens every single day.
Right.
In the hour that we're going to sit here, right here in Monroe County, I guarantee dozens of kids have been restrained
completely
by authority, whether it be their counselor, whether it be by a sentry. Whoever is...
Or beat the hell out of by their parent, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, so my question is, where is CPS? We do remember what happened to Brooke Stagels, right? Where CPS was woefully inept.
Yeah.
And the little girl died as a result of CPS not doing their job. That little girl was beaten to death by her dad's drug-addled girlfriend, Erica Bell. It was a horrible story. It was a grotesque story. It made you want to go down to CPS and just, wail on every one of them for not doing their job. They failed Brooke Stagels. They are failing Elba Pope's 9-year-old daughter. The RPD isn't failing this family.
No.
The mayor can't stand up and say, the mayor's been mayor for 7 years.
7.5 years.
What the hell?
This is her police department. This is on her watch, right? As they scream. What do they love to scream? They love to scream everything is systemic racism. Well, what is systemic, right? That's the system. Well, what's the system? The system is the police department, according to them. The system is the government, according to them. They run the government, right? These people that are screaming systemic racism.
The mayor, Mayor Lovely.
African-American.
Loretta Scott.
African-American.
The guy that runs the barbershop.
They're all African-American.
The police chief.
Yeah, they're all African-Americans. And they all scream systemic racism. Well, what is this system that's failing these people? And I don't even agree with that premise, right? I don't agree necessarily with the premise that it's the system's responsibility to raise these children, right? Because the system's always going to fail.
Right.
It really is, right?
Well,
only the family can do its job, right? Only the family can do its job. Now, is there a role for the system to step in, the so-called system to step in? Well, unfortunately, yes.
Well, apparently
when the
there's a
family
crisis
fails.
management, but this call didn't come out as crisis management.
No, it came out as a stolen car.
No one's talking about in the media either. They're not talking about the fact that the call came in as the Elba Pope's ex-boyfriend or whatever he is was trying to steal the car.
Is Tom still here?
So she called the cops saying, "My ex-boyfriend is trying to steal the car." So I don't even know if crisis management works on the weekend, but I guarantee you,
If I didn't know any better, this was all a setup.
it's a horrible situation. It makes the RPD, look bad, but this is not the RPD issue. And I think we can all agree that pepper spraying a baby, 9-year-old, when she's a baby, is not the right thing to do. No parent wants to see that happen.
Hold on. I want to challenge you on that.
Elba Pope brought that upon herself. It is 100% her problem. And challenge me in a second. But she lawyered up.
Look at that. She's filibustering me.
They have lawyered up.
I'm going to forget my question by then.
They have filed a notice of claim against the city of Rochester and the RPD. Of course they did.
So Mayor Lovely Warren's getting sued again?
In the notice of claim, attorneys for the girl's mother.
Who's the attorney? Do we know?
Yes,
He was on that video. I recognize him. I can't remember his name, though.
I
Not
saw
that it
the name
matters.
earlier. It's an Italian name.
I'm just trying to throw you off here.
In the notice of claim, attorneys for the girl's mother says she intends to sue for constitutional rights.
She's never even read the Constitution.
Negligence. Let me just talk about negligence for a second. Negligence. Going to jail for the first 5 years of your baby's life.
Yeah, negligence.
Negligence.
Being a negligent parent.
Saying to your 9-year-old when she's outside having a meltdown, get your bitch ass up and get it in the house.
That's the breach of duty.
Is that negligence or is that abuse? I don't
if
know.
you're waiting for the system to fix your kid, you've already failed.
Excessive force. She's suing the city and the RPD for excessive force. Would excessive force be trying to slap your kid in the presence of cops who are trying to calm her down? And other alleged issues in connection with the pepper spraying incident. Are you kidding me? Negligence and excessive force? Negligence and excessive force are all this child has ever known.
Yes.
Ever. And it's not brought up by the local media. You are horrible at doing your jobs. The media is nothing but a bunch of slags. You guys should be ashamed.
That's why you get your news on the revolution.
You guys should be a slag.
All right, Chad, let her have it.
How is this? Well, hold on.
Dawn says those teleprompter readers are all scum. They never ask the questions that need to be asked. Well, even if you ask them to ask the question, they're afraid. They're not going to tell you the truth behind the story. And the truth behind the story is Elba Pope is a shitty mom. Some of us should never, ever have kids, guys, right? Some of us are smart enough to know, man, you know what? I can't have 5 kids.
Planned Parenthood's for.
I can barely handle 1 kid. Maybe I shouldn't have 5 and try to go on welfare and collect for all of them. Maybe I should just have 1 and do my damnedest to make sure that they have a better life than what I had. Isn't that what we're supposed to do as parents?
That's why the Democrats support Planned Parenthood.
Right?
Because they know that the welfare system can't support
all of them.
Everything that they want.
But here's the thing. Some of us know that we want our children to have better lives than we had. We want our children to grow up better educated, to have better jobs. We want them to be happier than we were. We try to do our best to make sure that they have all these things. Elba Pope doesn't give a rat's ass how her kid is being raised because Elba Pope cares about only herself. And God forbid, if they win, and here's what I'm thinking is going to happen, and you probably know better than I, that the city will settle. They'll get money.
More than likely.
It'll never go to court.
Of course they will.
She'll never see any of that money, the 9-year-old.
No.
The parents are going to blow it on whatever those parents have always done. Connie says, I wonder if the mom would agree if she wins the lawsuit, it would go into a trust for the child, and not 1 cent would go to the parents. The poor child was raised by a pack of wolves. No, Connie, I have to say
You're
that
right, Connie.
I think that a pack of wolves would raise their child better.
Well, that's where the system will steal more money.
Tarzan
from
seemed to do pretty good.
But I'm going to tell you.
They'll appoint a law guardian. The law guardian will take the rest of the money.
Family is going to get the money. None of the money will go to the baby. She'll never see any of it. Early in the video, the other officer was calming the girl down until the mom shows up. We said that. The first officer that had control of the situation lost control because mom shows up and starts F-bombing her child, telling her 9-year-old to get her bitch ass back in the house.
Fitzy, she said I could challenge her.
And
she's not going to let you.
And then the car swings by. The person in the car says, can I help you? The mother turns her anger, because she's got issues, the mother, on the guy in the car and says, suck my dick.
Come on, that happened?
What kind of person says that to
Why
someone
didn't we play
that says,
that part?
can I help you? Because the audio can't be heard. It's muffled. But she tells the person in the car.
Can you say it again for those of us that
pulled
didn't
up
hear it?
to help, suck my dick.
You just want her to say that, Chad?
And then, what woman says that to someone
you just
trying
did
to help?
twice.
Poor Rich.
I said it because I'm repeating what someone else said.
Chad, she's going to drop the mic and just walk out.
But
I think that's called a rant, Kimberly.
But the fact of the matter is, she didn't deserve to be pepper sprayed. I know they couldn't get her under control.
Hold on, I got to mark the time for what time I got to make my kids stop watching now.
I understand.
4:50.
So please, challenge me on the concept of pepper spraying. Because again, I don't think anybody thinks that pepper spraying a kid is a good idea. But here's what needs to happen, I think.
Okay.
She's going to keep going.
She's still going. Turn her mic off.
The kid
this is horse shit.
Needs to be taken out of the home environment. The kid needs to be removed from Elba Pope's house. My opinion, I'm entitled to it. I'm not breaking any rules by saying that. Chad, please go ahead. I'll shut up now.
Maybe.
Oh, my God.
I'm waiting.
He's reading his emails
I'm
now.
waiting.
All right.
Okay.
So, all right, look. Here.
A brief pause while we, contact our sponsors. Taylor
Yeah.
Heating and Plumbing, Fantuzo's acupuncture.
Call Taylor.
500 help and Revere Realty.
So, all right. So here's the thing. Now I got to try to gather my thoughts.
And now
I want to try to do this in basically a fact-based way, without my narrative, without my agenda, without
emotion,
without what my opinion would be.
Okay.
But and I'm not a police officer, but I know several police officers very closely, family and friends, and I've spent many times having these discussions with them,
right.
And I've grilled them, right? As an attorney myself, I've done plenty of criminal defense work. I've cross-examined police officers. I've begged them to arrest somebody on my watch so I'd get a chance to cross-examine them. I've never had that opportunity to cross-examine one of my friends or family members, but nonetheless, I understand. Other than I've never been out there on the street, right? And I've never personally had to partake in any of these situations,
right.
but I do have an understanding or a perspective through their eyes as to what's going on out there, and their heads truly are on a swivel at all times.
Always.
Taekwon Rivera was 14 years old and probably, I don't know, maybe I'm just popping off at the mouth here, but probably the same size, if not much bigger, than this 9-year-old girl.
That is true.
Taekwon Rivera was a little kid. He was a squirt of a 14-year-old.
He just turned
14. And he
shot a
Rochester City police officer in the head, sniper style, from a distance.
Anthony DePonzio.
That's
correct.
Okay? So let's start with that perspective. Let's start with every morning when these, and I'm not asking anyone to cry a tear for a police officer. I'm really not. Because if I think that they've violated the Constitution, I read their police reports. I study their police reports very carefully.
Right.
And I can read between the lines. I can read in their police reports and tell when they manufactured something 5 hours after the fact in order to make it sound like it happened a certain way.
Palatable. Yes, for all of us.
Plausible deniability.
Right.
I know how to read their reports, and I know how to question them on their reports. So I'm not asking anyone to cry a river for them. But just from a perspective standpoint, if we want to see all angles here before we make our decision,
right.
They wake up every morning and they go to work knowing that they might get shot and killed, okay? And so you start with that perspective. Now,
and they do it because of a call of duty,
they
right?
do. And they get paid.
They do
right?
it for a calling. They do get paid.
And they get paid, and they get paid well,
right.
and so on and so forth. So, there's always arguments on both sides. But at the end of the day, okay, they show up in any given situation, such as this one. And they have many tools on their belt, literally and figuratively.
Yes, they do.
Okay? They have the ability to pop off rounds from their Glock and kill you. They have the ability to go to their trunk and get out their shotgun and kill you. They also have the ability to take the least restrictive means on their belt, which would probably be the pepper spray.
Right.
And there's a lot of things in between. They have batons that they can beat you with.
They do.
They have handcuffs that they can cuff you with. They have...
they have a knife.
Their own
They have
fist.
a knife.
They have a knife.
They have a stun. They have what's the tase? Thank you.
They have a taser.
They have the taser.
Don't tase me, bro.
Tom, great point. They have their fists, right?
Yeah.
They have their elbows. They've been trained in the academy how to use their own. If they've lost all of their tools,
right,
they
have
can
to
use
fight.
their hands,
right,
and their elbows and their knees and so on and so forth. Okay, so now in this situation, right, the only way to get to whatever conclusion you want to get to, okay, and we're all going to potentially have different conclusions,
right?
But the only way to fairly and accurately get to whatever conclusion you want to get to is you have to play devil's advocate. You have to look at both sides of it. So you have to play out all the different scenarios. And because everything's on body camera, okay, and we see things now in real time, this is what we're left with. We're left with a bunch of people that get to Monday morning quarterback the situation, which is what we're doing right now, quite frankly. And that's all fine and good. But again, let's see every perspective. And if we were watching a video right now, because a lot of what I've heard from the Monday morning quarterbackers is, well, why didn't they just physically restrain her? Why couldn't they just...
They were trying.
Why couldn't they just fight her harder, overcome her? She's 9, right? Okay, fine. Let's run with that for a minute. Again, because we want to explore all possibilities. I don't want to be closed-minded. I want to explore all possibilities.
Okay.
All right, so let's get, how many officers now do we want to get involved? Do you want one officer trying to overcome her physically? Do you want 2? Do you want 6? How many do you want? okay, you only want one, right? Because you want just one person because she's 9 and you only need one person, right? You don't need 10 cops jumping on her. So let's get one cop. And you don't want him to use his gun, and you don't want him to use his cap stun, his pepper spray.
Right,
you don't want him to use his billy club.
Right.
You want him to just use his good old-fashioned hands and fists, right? Because, again, they call...
Or they just want him to do
nothing?
Talk to her. To talk
to do nothing, right? Well, that's not
working in the beginning.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have got her an ice cream cone.
Until Mom came along.
Until she runs away.
And escalated the situation.
Until she runs away, and the police officers let her go, right? Because nobody wants to see any force on a 9-year-old, right? We all want to sit here and say, oh, nobody wants to see a 9-year-old get pepper sprayed. Nobody wants to see a 9-year-old get shot either. Well, guess what? She didn't get shot. Nobody wants to see her get hit with a billy club, and she didn't. Nobody wants to see her get hit with a taser, and she didn't.
Right.
Nobody wants to see her get punched in the face, and they didn't. Okay? And you know what else nobody wants to see? Who was that young boy that broke away from school a couple years ago and ended up dead in the bottom of the Genesee River?
Travion Rowe.
Thank you. Nobody wants to see those cops do nothing. Because I'll tell you what, as sure as that blouse is yellow that you're wearing today, if the body camera footage would have shown 6 uniformed Rochester City police officers standing around doing nothing as she walked away, and her mom is screaming in the background, and stepdad's doing whatever he's not doing, and she walks away.
And never is seen again.
And 3 days later shows up in the bottom of the Genesee River.
Whose fault?
Guess who's on the camera tonight filing a notice of claim with her lawyer? Her. Claiming the Rochester City police officers should have done what? They should have pepper sprayed her. That's what they would have said. They
should have used something to keep her from walking away.
They would have said they should have used the least restrictive means possible. And you know what the training manual would have said the least restrictive means possible is? The pepper spray. That's what they'd be saying. So here's the point. Here's the bottom line. When you're Black Lives Matter and you want to defund the police and you want to eliminate law enforcement and you want to destroy the system that keeps law in order, you will accept nothing for an answer except everything to be burned down. Literally. Right? We saw them literally burn down police stations. They don't want any law enforcement techniques to be used because they will second guess, and it's beyond second guessing, right? Second guessing is what you and I do.
Right.
What they're doing is literally going down to City Hall and rioting, bringing down the American flag, raising up the Black Lives Matter flag.
They are.
Suing, okay, to take money out of the system.
Absolutely.
Demanding laws be passed that you can no longer pepper spray anyone under the 18. Do I have to identify them? Do you have to ask them for an ID card before you pepper spray them? What if there's
They don't want them handcuffed either.
What if there's 6 17-year-olds and they're charging at the police officer and he's got no pepper spray to use? Is he going to pull out his gun then at that point and defend himself? Because these are 17-year-olds now. These are grown men who, but for maybe one day on the calendar, they're not 18 yet. And he's not supposed to pepper spray them at that point?
I hear you.
This is unbelievable. This really is. It's disgusting.
Patty says, finally, someone is saying what needs to be said and not pussyfooting around. I don't think you can.
I think she's talking about Tom.
I don't think you can when...
You didn't like my ice cream idea?
When honestly, I
didn't even hear it.
That would probably work. Honey, do you want a sundae?
I agree with that.
It worked for my parenting skills. That's all I ever did.
Do you want some ice cream?
Do you want some ice cream? Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah. I mean, that would work with most kids, right? But you know what? The mother escalated the situation. Now she's going to sue.
Yeah.
She's a shitty
Payday.
mom. She's going to get money.
Yep.
It's going to go to the family. Probably some is going to go to the attorney. I don't know how it all works.
Third.
What?
Attorney gets a third.
Come on.
33%. It's on a contingency. He's taking a risk. Can't fault the lawyer. We got to get paid.
I don't know who decides such matters, but again, here's what I'm thinking. The city is going to settle because they don't.
You don't buy suits like this without getting a third.
They don't want to go to
sidewalk
trial.
sale at
This is a Hickey Freeman.
The sidewalk sale.
The city will
I'm
settle.
a sidewalk sale lawyer.
And you know what? The city settled with Travion Rowe's parents.
Yep.
Well, half-assed mother. That's, again, a shitty family situation.
Should have pepper sprayed that kid. Right? That was school, right?
He walked away from school,
But let's put the shoe on the same foot. Let's interject his situation into this situation or vice versa.
Yeah.
If he had gotten off the bus and had been unruly with the bus driver, and the bus driver had radioed into the district, hey, I got an unruly one, and for whatever reason the district says, okay, well, we're dispatching RPD because this kid's got a history or whatever the case might be, and RPD shows up, right? And they let that kid walk. Why? Because there's like, oh, wait a second. If we pepper spray this kid, if we physically restrain him, 13 people are watching us with camera videos now, and they're going to sue us, and we're going to lose our jobs because these officers are on suspension now, and their jobs are being called for. Their jobs are being called for. It's immoral what's happening right now.
It's immoral.
And these reverends stand up and they get behind it because they're immoral. They're not God-fearing people.
No, they're not. God, I mean, I think
they hide behind it. They hide behind their religion, their fake religion.
The preachers and politicians, no matter what color they are,
I hope the preacher's not a realtor.
They're crooks, right? The preachers and the politicians are mainly, no matter what
Is
color
Reverend
you are.
Wright a realtor?
You are Reverend Lewis Stewart.
Reverend Stewart.
I don't believe he is.
Is he a realtor?
I don't believe he is.
All right, that's good. We should check into that.
But what I will
Fitzy,
say
can
to
you check?
is that they're all crooked, no matter what color they are, and none of it are in this game for the sake.
Did you say gang?
The game for the winning.
I thought you said gang.
For the winning for the kid.
You can't say gang on the radio.
The kid is going to lose.
Well, I was going to say that. Yeah,
the
the
kid
only
is
one.
the loser.
Yes, everyone's going to win. The lawyer's going to get his third. Right, lovely Warren gets to get the political.
The Reverend
look
Lewis
good.
Stewart gets to stand up and say white people are to blame for this.
Yep, absolutely.
And
the little girl, little girl's life is wrecked. It's already it was wrecked before we saw it. We saw the 30
Yeah, it was wrecked
snapshot.
before they got there.
It's been wrecked way beyond.
Yeah.
Even in November when cops showed up for a situation the first time around, which again the media won't tell you. But let's show what happened after the video was released at one of the police precincts downtown. You want to see?
Sure.
Have you watched?
Do we have a choice?
Have you watched this?
No.
Here's what happened after the video was released and before anyone had any information on what happened. I guarantee you. You want to see it?
Can I guess first?
Sure.
Riot.
Here we go.
All right.
Oh no! I don't believe it. Is that the Capitol? Is it January 6th?
Tearing down the fence for the police.
That looks like a Pearl Jam concert.
It looks like CBGB back in the good old days.
Who's the guy wearing green?
Oh, that's a parka hood. I thought that was somebody's head rock.
Did the guy wearing green not know he's supposed to wear black?
I have no idea what they're saying. But they're one fence away. They'd already torn down
like
one
8
fence.
Mile.
They were trying to tear down that fence.
Looks
That
like 8
happened.
Mile, Fitzy.
I know. So here's where we are.
All right. I got to go home soon. I'm hungry.
A 9-year-old that's never going to see any situation better unless they take her out of the home. That's what you have. So now you know the rest of the story.
Thanks, Paul Harvey.
Paul Harvey.
The background on
Is Paul Harvey a realtor?
the girl.
We just slandered
When
him.
is Valentine's Day? I wanted to get to this Marjorie
It's
Taylor.
February 14th.
Valentine's Day is a holiday that's an excuse for females.
I have other stuff. I have Georgia's Marjorie Taylor Greene. I have that story.
Come back tomorrow.
I have the Lomance. So Lowe's is doing this thing for Valentine's Day. So are you guys big Valentine's Day guys?
Hold on. I think I got it.
I like pretty things. I'm just going to give you a little head up.
You lay
Is
the
that
lumber.
why you like me, Kimberly?
You lay the lumber at Lowe's.
You lay the lumber at Lowe's?
What does
It's
that
the
mean?
Lay the Lumber Lowe's Valentine's Day sale.
That doesn't sound fun at all. That doesn't sound fun at all.
What are you talking
I don't
about?
even know what that is.
You lay the lumber
Valentine's
at Lowe's
Day.
Valentine's Day sale.
They are
That's a nice pun.
they are taking reservations at some Lowe's stores for a date night at
See?
one
I
of
told
10
you.
select stores
Yep.
in America's most romantic cities.
Right.
50 couples will win an after-hours
See?
in-store experience.
What?
But
I got it. I called it.
Yeah.
So the smell of sawdust turns her on?
I can't imagine anything worse.
No, Joy, I'm not blushing. It's these freaking earmuffs are like burning me up.
So Rochester's not one of the top 10 romantic cities?
No. So
No?
Nashville, Denver,
I'm going.
Savannah,
Yeah.
Chicago, San Francisco, Palm Beach, Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, New Orleans, Providence, Rhode Island, and Milwaukee,
Providence?
Wisconsin are
Providence
all.
is a dirt hole.
Congratulations.
You have to live within the metro area in order to, try to win one of these 50 slots.
Do you bring
for
your own lumber?
A Lomance.
So did they use their Trump connection for that Palm Beach Lowe's?
Lomance.
Do you bring your own hammer?
So with
Yeah, I think they did bring their own hammer, Chad.
so, but yeah.
Do you
so
bring your
it's-
own Phillips head screwdriver?
Right.
How does this work?
That's what. So And they get dinner and
I
they
think
get
she
all
brought
these
her lug
things.
nuts with her.
Wow.
All right, I think we got to go.
Wow. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Sue
Everyone.
on
And
Kimberly's
lay the lumber.
Revolution.
Go to Lowe's.
We want to thank our sponsors, Fantuzo's Acupuncture.
Thank you, Fantuzo.
We want to also thank Taylor Heating and Plumbing.
Thank you, Taylor.
And we're looking forward to our final and last advertiser that is going to join our show, which is taking off in numbers. And we're so glad that all of you watch.
Thank you
and
for
listen.
listening.
Thank you, listeners.
So you can go to YouTube, you can subscribe for free, you can go to Apple Podcasts, and you can listen and give us a like. We would appreciate it.
Veneto's.
Give
We
us
going
a-
to Veneto's for a drink?
Very soon, Brittany, very soon.
When will you guys add more time and days?
We're waiting for the loan to go through at the bank.
Stay tuned. Announcement soon.
It's announcement soon. Yeah. So I don't know. We're considering all of our options, but we just want to say this: we'll be back next week, and as always,
God bless. Be kind to others.
Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500